Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This first question is for Chairman Gensler. Currently, the CFTC is looking at setting position limits and on swap data. And my concern is, and I know I asked this question, I think, of you and of Secretary Geithner in 2009, whether there was an analysis that looked at the critical and necessary data regarding this. And it seems, I'm concerned that, and in fact, multiple futures exchanges have raised concern that without this critical data that there'll be improperly set position limits, which would negatively impact liquidity and effective price risk hedging. And it seems like if you're putting the horse before the cart, if you don't have the study of this data that is so important, and I think in not analyzing it before you put in the new regulation. And in my concern is not only here, but that there's talk of some dealers have looking at moving abroad, and we're going to lose those jobs. Could you comment on that?
The proposal the Commission put out in January is consistent with the congressional provisions that we put something out with regard to the physical commodities, metals, energies, and agriculture. The agency has had, and working with the exchanges, position limits in most of these for what's called the spot month, but also looking at the other months, what's called the back months. And it's really would be a three steps to this. Proposal phase, we've asked the public for comment on the very data that you're talking about. We're going to be well informed. Final rules will not be taken into consideration until we get comments. We got 8,200 comments on an earlier position limit proposal a year ago. No doubt we'll get a lot of public input, and it will be helpful. We changed the proposal based on those earlier comments. We'll probably change the final based on these comments. The third phase is actually getting data from the market when the swap data repositories are stood up, and we anticipate that that's going to take some time.
But that is really crucial in how you're going to be able to set those limits so that there won't be something done before you get that
well,
data?
We've actually anticipated that the proposal says that even once it is a final rule, it would not be implemented until there is data upon which to apply a formula. Position limits historically have been done based on a formula of the total size of the market. How big is the market? And so
but my concern is that we're going to have some of these traders that are going to go abroad because they can't wait, you know, with all the comments, and then to have the, you know, to set that later on. It seems like you're putting the cart before the horse and not having the data before you really set those limits.
Again, Congress asked us to put proposals out. We're soliciting comment. This is one that's very important to get the comment on these 28 physical commodity markets. We have had position limits in the agricultural markets for decades. There were positions in the energy markets and metals markets in the 80s and 90s, in fact, all the way through 2001. And we look forward to public comment and to hear on this. But it does say in the proposal that they would not go into effect until they're based on the actual statistics of the size of the futures market as well as the swaps market.
Okay. Well, maybe Congress may have been wrong in the way how they designated that should be done. But let me go on to another question. Chairman Shapiro, the Department of Labor has proposed a new definition of fiduciary, which would significantly modify 35 years of established law defining who is an investment advice fiduciary. And then the SEC has completed their 913 study, which looks at the standard of care required of broker-dealers and investment advisors providing personal investment advice about securities to retail customers. Both of these proposals will be setting advice standards for retail IRAs. Have the DOE and the SEC consulted on these proposals, or is there something that could come out differently for.
Congressman, you're right. We published our investment advisor, broker-dealer fiduciary study several weeks ago. We were very clear there to say that it does not implicate the fiduciary standard under ERISA. And you're also correct that the Department of Labor has recently proposed to expand the fiduciary definition under ERISA, and that has the potential to affect some ongoing arrangements and relationships between broker-dealers and their IRA clients. We're very prepared to work with the Department of Labor. We've offered any information or expertise that we can provide to them about the regulation, in particular of broker-dealers in the context of advising ERISA accounts, and we will continue to reach out to them and see if we can be of help.
But have you actually been in contact with them?
Yes,
now?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Biggert.
Yield back.